Yo, what is up? It's been a week and we're bringing back the heat. So it is week 5. Sorry I haven't been bringing the games to you in rapid succession. Just waiting on a couple of games to get completed so I can give you a full serving of heat, of course. One that you guys deserve, first and foremost. So, just a brief recap of what we're doing here. We got Gen 7 and we got Z moves on deck. Each team is allotted 2 Z move users within 20 points of their 8 to 10 mon team. And there are things like hidden power that is available. No dry pass that you can expect, but a whole bunch of heat, right? So, getting into game 1, we have the coach of the Big Nuggets, Lord Emvee, versus Knight F3 OP, coach of the Los Angeles Azules. Los Angeles Azules. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over the lead I think would happen here, and that'll be going along each game, and then at the end giving individual mons heat ratings from their sets that they brought and how they were displayed in effectiveness and thoughtfulness. Um, so we'll go right into it. Hope you guys have been enjoying the week, of course. Uh, and if the team doesn't have green, they're gonna get pinched because it is um, St. Patrick's Day over here in the States. It is the late time of 11, so I will have this to you as soon as possible. So Envy drafting a team of a lot of green straight off the rip into their team here. Now, things like Superior could be nasty with a +2 Dragon Pulse into the entire team, or even HP Fire coverage for Scizor, and boosted Leaf Storm into these two here. So I think Surf is pretty well covered. Manabuzz could give it some issue, possibly, but it's gonna be a hard sell. Zygarde does look pretty good here. Just have to avoid the Ice move, Dragon move, Ice move, and potential Hidden Power Ice. Uh, while we do have things like Togekiss here, that is faster than most of the team, I want to say. Like, this is base 80. This is also 80. Um, it can do some stuff here. Having flamethrower coverage for things like Scizor to bait it in. And Alolan Muck is really good here versus the Kyurem and also Coco. As far as leads go, I do want to say, let's see. This is Mega Glade, by the way. There are Megas involved. Um, okay, lead. Coco seems like the very safe lead here into their team. Something like Arcanine could be crazy, having access to close combat fighting move. Electric move for this as well. It does have Outrage, and the Z move user here is going to be Zygarde. And the Z move here user, I believe, is this. So you could have something like a Tectonic Rage into there. So let's go ahead, start off the game. I am in this game. I do not recall what happened, but I did get the lead right for that. We see Burn Up. Turn 1, doing a hell of a lot. So I'm guessing that's banded damage. Rootsing it right off though. Right back to 99. And Scizor comes out here. So Dazzling Gleam into the Zard. Wonder if it was trying to catch anything. Pretty good mid-ground play, especially if Coco was to come in here. Dazzling Gleam coverage is really good. But the bullet punches here, I wonder if this is Babiri Berry to knock some of that damage off. So we do see the Akaberry in a crit, and the U-turn to scare that out. But it is Rocky Helmet. Okay, so that's very good consideration. Encore, wow. Okay, so that was a heck of a read. Let's go back there. So, in the face of Zard's like, okay, your coverage that I see right now is not going to do anything to me. Um, Especially if I don't even mega here. So, Emvee knowing that Zard would likely try to do a setup move, possibly D-Dance, let alone sub, was a crazy read right here. That's going crazy. So it does scare that out because you would be locked into sub. So it is a fresh switch for both. Um, Very good neutral reset. And the Earth Power from Q is very nice. Cranberry gets knocked off on the Rocky Helmet, but it is weak armor. You do get the poison from the Poison Touch plus the ability there. But Mean Look into Toe Kiss. Fearing that Dazzling Gleam, it's going to go back into St. Joseph. And we got the Toxic Encore sub Roost so far. So Mana Buzz comes in. And that was pretty dope tech. The Mean Look. Likely trying to trap something in there. Hidden Power. I want to say it's probably Rock for Zard. Electric could be nice, especially on electric terrain. Like having something so far. Okay, wait. I said choice band. That might be choice specs. That burn up on that Zard right there went kind of crazy. Rest on Mandy though, very clutch. And okay, it is Hidden Power Rock based on it doing super effective damage to Vanabuzz and Q. But we get the roost off. We're staying healthy along this side here. 100, 104% on Scizor, but the SD is very scary. And it takes the hit. We don't wake up next turn. But we wake up this turn. So Emvee switches out based on the weak armor. So that's pretty nice. This could be a trapping set for the likes of Alolan Muck. Taking that decently well, not at the same time. Alright, so Q comes back in, Cranberry's in there, and it just takes a hit. So that's great, kind of, for Cranberry here, because you kind of force this to, well, you're not locked in. If you are Zen Headbutt, you can't touch it. So you either have to drop your stats or reveal your other move here. So stats are dropped. Bullet Punch could be the one that comes in here, but we see Coco, Hot Dog King, come in. And Nature's Madness, a good move, but not to miss. That would have did a good amount to Muck here. Not seeing the item yet off of Muck, but Muck knocks that off. And there we have a sub. Poison Jab doesn't break the sub, and it's roosting up on it. Dealing a lot of pressure. We have Mega Glade come in on the sub. So if it is CC, okay, nice. So that was smart by Emvee here, because they would have taken extra damage had Q hit this with something. We don't know what it has aside from Earth Power, but smart move there. And Ice Beam. So yeah, that would have probably brought Emvee into the yellow, or around 33% maybe. So double fighting move with the SD. And the U-turn, great momentum. Q is back in, throwing off that pressure. As is the Glade. Gonna take a drop. And CC is not going to be enough to take out Coco there. Probably the best move to throw off in this instance. Not sure if... Well, I mean, Zen would have been a nice move too, but yeah, just guaranteed hit damage is guaranteed hit damage. It's always good. So in comes Zygarde. So we see the roots from Coco. So a lot of the team here is very longevity based, having rest, roost, and Mandy doesn't care about electric terrain with rest because it is flying type. So 1,000 arrows, scarf. Um, nice. Almost shy of that kill. And in comes Batman. In that icicle crash, gonna take out Clayface, basically. Intimidate off on it, knowing that it is... Well, no, it's not revealed what item Memo is right there. But I think Memo would always switch out, and this always comes in. But we do know that it is Hidden Power Rock. Flamethrower doing a great amount of damage. And a Mega from the Zard. It is Dragon v Dragon, but that 1,000 arrows is going to knock it out, especially off of the Scarf. So they're going to be trading hits here. Ice Beam is going to take out Zygarde. That is very good damage on Q. Putting Knight in a tight spot, and that's the smart move, just getting a little bit of chip health. Don't know the last move still. And Icicle Crash comes out. So, good move, because I don't think Gallade stays in after, you know, Coco goes down. Like, I'm not sure if a Banded Ice Shard takes this out, because it does kind of have paper defenses. But this kind of leads you to believe that it is a Scarf variant. So, good move by Knight there. I believe Arcanine comes in here, yes. And Flamethrower is quite free. So Larry goes down. Q comes in. Okay. So the Roost comes in here. Dragon Pulse, not doing too much, but the Ice Beam nearly shy of the KO. 10%. So Leaf Storm for the extra boost of damage before getting knocked out. And okay, Drain Punch is gonna bring Gallade right up to a healthy amount. So it all depends on if I think Mamo gets a kill off a crit here, or if Earthquake even kills here. So Earthquake doesn't kill, and Drain Punch is gonna take the heal. Shy move, and oh, we see, oh, so clutch. The final reveal having Shadow Sneak. GG, it's Emvee. Twas an honor in this battle. So, a very dope game, I would say. That could have gone either way. That investment to take the Earthquake probably made the biggest difference, if there is any investment. Because this thing is not the bulkiest on the defense side. So let's go over the team. Let's rate the heat. Alright, starting off with Coco. Leftover set with Roost, Nature's Madness. Okay, pretty standard. Nothing heat here. Going on to Scarf Memo. Scarf Memo is Scarf Memo. U-turn, Akaberry, pretty dope for that. Earth Power, Roost, Sub, Ice Beam. Lefties is knocked off. And again, Kyurem in this generation does not have access to Freeze Dry. So it's, you're going to see it throwing off Ice Beam, maybe Blizzard, Earth Power, Draco, Meteor, Dragon Pulse, stuff like that. So Subtoxic Roost on Zard. This is pretty dope. A very defensive set. That sub definitely came in clutch versus the Muck, because it didn't break off of one hit on that, if I do recall. So I do like that. Not sure what move it had to hit Muck. I could see Earthquake being the thing for the likes of like Arcanine. Like Toxic hits that, that. Like the Zard set is definitely annoying. I could see. Manbuzz. Now this is pretty heat, if I do have to say so myself. The rest mean look. Unfortunately, didn't get to see it pulled off. Let's see. How did this go down? So, Manbuzz coming in on Muck. Knocking off the Rocky helmet and having weak armor. So I think this is a moment where it was feared. Like, I do think this was made to trap a specific mon. Definitely not this. Definitely not this. Weak armor means you're expected to take hits in Rocky Helmet. Definitely not Zygarde, I don't think. And definitely not Surf. So I can only see this being crafted to possibly take care of Muck. Um, because none of these mons appreciate Muck and its coverage. Had it been where Mandy didn't switch in, I think it was better. Like if Mandy was to bait it, but I don't know where Mandy would come in. So it is definitely kind of hard, I think. Um, and then that didn't help. But the rest is dope. I do like the rest. Let's see where we saw me look. Okay. Yeah, so unfortunately, the the boost and the drop probably scared Muck out. Otherwise, it would have likely stayed in. But if it was to stay in and heal up and stuff like that, like if it had anything to alleviate the drops, um, that would be dope. And chipping it down, not knowing what item it is. So I do think this was heat. Unfortunately, it didn't get to get pulled off well. Um, but rest me look, just that combination of things, I think deserves a heat rating of 2. Um, even though it didn't get to, I think, pull it off very well. With the weak armor, yeah, weak armor plus rest plus mean look, yeah, that's pretty clean. Like that, I think you have to respect the heat off that. Um, so yeah, well played by Knight. Let's go over to Emvee here. Pretty standard here on the Muck. This is dope. Specs burn up. You don't ever see that for the most part. And then hidden power rock. I think this was well equipped into the team here because, like, let's look at it. Yeah, this is thick fat, but super effective. Especially probably with choice specs, you might kill it. Super effective, super effective, super effective with the hidden power, super effective hidden power, and then you have flamethrower or burn up in any aspect. Yeah, I think that was dope. This is definitely heat. Something you might even end up using on the ladder. Uh, the hidden power choice was amazing, but only based off of the matchup. I want to give this a heat rating of 2, because like you don't see burn up off of specs too. Um, and used in well succession, like this didn't take any kind of damage. That is crazy work. At the lowest, it would get a heat rating of 1, but the hidden power usage went crazy. It was to where like a hidden power that has no switching, kind of wild work. Um, this performed very well. I love the encore. I think this was really played well. Not necessarily heat, but I do have to give it heat consideration because I think like this was made to eat something, right? Because it has Rocky Helmet. So you're expecting some type of chip into this to get chipped into that. So I do want to give that a heat rating of 1 because the Encore and the Rocky Helmet in a combination like was a phenomenal move into uh, this right here, as well as Scizor. Um, Larry having the Octoberry to resist that damage was phenomenal too. So I'm gonna give that a heat rating of 1. And then we see Scarf, Thousand Arrows, and Citrus Berry, Dragon Storm. Dragon Storm. That sounds phenomenal as a move. But alright, yeah, great game. Let's move into the next thing. Alright, here we have game number 2. We have SpeedSapphire, aka Saph, coach of the Crimson Shurikens, versus Manual Team MT, coach of the Duralic Dons. Now, these are some pretty. Wonder how this goes off at this moment. pretty bulky team here. Pretty glass cannon type team. Depending on if this megas or if this is defensive. Like, this can be anything it wants to be. It has 100 base stats and everything. Right? Gengar is really nice. Could disrupt a lot of things. Lead, taunt. I could see Pursuit being a thing here. Gunk Shot is also a thing. U-turn, taunt, you have rocks. Infernape's a pretty phenomenal lead in all instances. Has base 104 offensive stats. Rotom Fan. I could see this disrupting things with like Trick and Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, doing things. So I think this is a well put out team here. As far as lead, rocks go crazy. I'm sorry, webs go crazy for Saph into the team, but there is magic bounce that you have to consider. But there's also Crook that you have to consider being scarfed and whatnot. So I think a good lead in general could be the Lando here for them, or even Infernape to catch this, like having a scarf of their own, like close combat into that, or U-turn, and then having defog access in 2 mons is pretty good for them. I think Celesteela goes kind of crazy here with Infernape gone, but it does have to rely on having Chip if it is the offensive variant, like a Tautomized set. But Leech Seed nonetheless is very annoying. And yeah, with these two here, I do think in tandem they will be healing each other or the team. So I'm gonna call Infernape as the lead Orlando here into their Crook or Galvantula here. This could be a dope lead too, like having lead to burn or whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna say Crook's the lead here for this. So we see Gengar. I am entirely wrong. And Kaguya. I am entirely wrong. Magikarp is very dope. That could have been for like the T-Spike or Taunt or any disruption move. So I do like that. That was a good consideration there. Crocodile comes in with the Intimidate. Focus Blast on the read. Spinner is gonna get hit. And okay, so it switching up moves made it seem as if it was Sash. So we don't get to see the Pursuit there unlocked. And this Gengar's going in with this coverage. We have Wish on Sakura and then Protect. So last move on Gengar, it could either be something like maybe the Destiny Bomb. T-Bolt is also, I think, an option. Does it get T-Bolt in this? It should. Yeah. Alright, so nice move there. They didn't even risk Volt switching. They just did the hard switch in case Crook came out. And Ida is using Lead Seed, and we see Gravity Lando. Not Z Gravity, but we see Gravity Lando. We love to see Gravity Lando, don't we? So dope tech already. We get the Protect, and we get the Swords Dance. Okay, so yeah, there are no switch-ins here. It's Earthquake. There's no switch-ins here. It's Earthquake. There are no switch-ins here, unless you Protect. So I think they read the Protect very well. They do get some chip health and another round of chip health off of the failed Protect. So very well knowledge on Saph. And it looks like Ida gives Gengar some issue here. Heavy Slam into the Rotom, doing a little bit of health, and we're gonna see what it wants to do. We see the Volt Switch, and again it does 45, pretty nice damage into the Infernape. But Ida is gonna get Elite Seed and hit a Protect off. Now if it SDs, oh my gosh, I read it. So Flare Blitz is gonna take that out. Oh no, I'm a liar. It does get a burn, but that Akka Berry is very big, as well as the chip health, because you don't have leftovers, so you're relying on Leech Seed for any kind of recovery. Um, and that Flare Blitz recoil is very big. What was it before this turn? So you have Flare Blitz and Leech Seed recoil going off right here. So good move on Manuel here on the SD, on the Protect, on the Hacks Burn. So Earthquake doesn't get the kill because you're burned, but at this time he knows that dies the next round. That burn's unfortunate, as well as the yeah, that is crazy. So going for KD is Saph here. They seem like they're down and out. They get the webs up, they get the Flare Blitz, missing out on a kill by 2%, and the Destiny Bond is revealed. So Destiny Bond gives a lot of good pressure, because at any moment that you feel like you could die, you can just hit Destiny Bond, being that you're faster. And then also, oh, if you want to switch, I get free damage. So Hawks should get the kill here off on Gengar. So it won't be as bad as a 6-0, but we do get the Stone Edge off of the Gravity. So I'm loving this. We love Gravity Lando over here. If you know, you know. No prep at all, unfortunately. But I do think it was well put. I want to say Pursuit was on this. Octoberry was a good bring. Pretty standard elsewhere. The Magicoat was pretty dope. I wish I saw it being pulled off. But unfortunately it did not get pulled off. So I can't give a heat score necessarily through display. Consideration somewhat, but I had to see more revealed. Like Gengar did some heavy work. Like look at all that PP drop. That was crazy work. So pretty standard Gengar. I can only assume it was Sash based off the 2 HP, you know, that new type Sash deck. Infernape, SD, Flare Blitz doing dope damage. Keeping their team very well alive. Gravity Lando. What are we giving this as heat rating, right? Like, this is just too dope. Like, you have SD, mad pressure, Gravity, mad pressure, Earthquake, Stone Edge. Like, this is somewhat of a common set. Still effective. Like, it's no Z Gravity because you don't see Z Gravity, which is a reason why I do give some heat points to things that you don't see here. But yeah, this is pretty phenomenal. I'm between 1 or 2 on the heat level here. We're gonna give it a 2. We love Gravity Lando here, right? No bias, no bias. Diancie didn't come out, nor did Manaphy, so the mythicals just staying mythical. They don't exist here. Infernape doing well damage, and Rotom doing a good job of getting in, getting out for Gengar. And on to the next one here. Alright, next up we have Coach of the Art Niners, ThatOneGuy, versus Mask 19, Coach of the New York Masquerades. So, love seeing these guys play. For sure. ThatOneGuy here does have a very scary offensive team into an opposing very scary offensive team. So going off a Mask team right here, you do have something available like Unburden Lucha with the Misty Seed off of it, giving it a +2 in speed. Very much threatening the likes of everything aside from Gliscor here. Intimidate could work pretty well if it is Intimidate off on that. Like Nidoking's just good overall with its damage output. in coverage. Like, it hits this super effectively, this just falls over. This is Mega Absol, however. Umbreon does tank very well, as does this, but it's Nidoking nonetheless. This guy's a pretty versatile dude. Rotom Mo here, I could see it possibly doing some trick shenanigans to be effective versus this, or just getting in as a pivot here and there. Um, it is pretty susceptible to everybody's moves here, aside from maybe Gliscor, depending on its coverage. Like if it has knockoff or earthquake, um, it doesn't care too much. Maybe having pain split or who knows what. I feel like this is a wild card in this match here, depending on like what its function is. Um, but I think good bring nonetheless. Next we have Latios here. Lesser Purge isn't buffed in this, and you do have the orb that is available on it. Lustrous Orb, I think. I think it kind of gets walled by these two, but still can be a beast nonetheless. Scizor is Scizor, as well as a Mega Scizor, if I recall correctly. And Tapu Fini. That thing washes stuff. And let's see here. This would be very good to Snowball. Shadow Ball is free into the team if it was to get that way. You have stuff like Sticky Web that affect 1, 2, 3 members of the team. Not sure if that would make that big of a difference versus the offense that you do have, because they naturally outspeed the one susceptible to Sticky Web. So I don't even know if Sticky Web is a bring here. Nonetheless, Umbreon is Umbreon. Umbreon don't care about what you got going on. I don't think it likes the 1v1 versus Finny. Or maybe even Lucha here. But Foul Play is a move you do have to respect off of this. And Gliscor can be pretty good opposed into some of the team here. Maybe Scizor for the most part. It doesn't like Finny. It doesn't appreciate Ice Beam from Lottie. It doesn't... I mean, these two, I don't know. They're swaying the same way. They might be cool in a room alone. I don't know. Pretty good against Hawlucha here. Depending on if Hawlucha wants to do something crazy. And doesn't like Nidoking. Absol can go completely crazy. Let's start it off. I think I could see an Absol lead, and depending on if it's like a Scarf Nido or not, Nidoking lead, or just a very safe Rotom lead. Maybe even a Lottie lead. I don't think it has U-turn, but let's go off. Okay, we see the Staraptor lead versus the Rotom lead. So it is Intimidate. We get the U-turn, big damage off on the Volt Switch, which gives it a free Toxic Orb activation into the Hidden Power Ice. Okay, so I did want to call that. It might have that to bait. But look, these guys are swaying around. They both got Toxic on it. Good Leaf Storm, mid-ground play. Aya Papa Berry pops in, and oh, wow. Yeah, good move, but not a good move to miss. Unfortunate, gets the Volt Switch damage, and that's big damage. Right into the Scizor here. And the Mirror Coat, nice. So if this had a lower Spadef stat to do more damage to its HP, it's possible that this could have killed. Or that this is just a bulky bug here. So we get the Mega, we get the Roost. Roost kind of gives me that it's bulky and that liquidation damage too. I'm not sure if that's invested, but yeah, that could be its leftovers. Come on. So Sakura takes out the Rotom, gets the +1, which is very devastating into a team that has 0 Ghost Resist. We see the Surf here, off on the Finny, getting a crit hit. And Haru gets a liquidation off. No drops. Switches out, gets the U-turn, and Latios comes here. Now, Latios is naturally faster, by I think 3 base points because this is 107. Yeah, it's 107. Um, so this could be Scarf in opposition to Scarf Blacephalon here. So we'll see how they move and if they take that into consideration, which they do by going right into Araquanid. And the leftovers is doing overtime. So Surf on Surf. And then a double. Good double, but not into what they wanted to see. So we get the reveal of Finney's item here based on the amount of turns that Misty Terrain has been on field. So it is Terrain Extender. For what I can only expect is Misty Seed on there, which is kind of obvious. Liquidation on the crit hit gets 50 for what you would call chip. And you turn back on Sakura into the Latios. So we can only expect that this is a likely Scarf set unless they are bluffing very well. Side Shock into it, doing immense damage. So good consideration. Double Side Shock is going to take it out from that range. And Umbreon comes in. Super Creek is going to be immune to any move. And another great double from that one guy. Z move here, I'm guessing it's going to be Sky Strike. And it is going to be enough to strike it out the sky. Latios comes in here. Draco Meteor does get the drop. And it does drop in a special attack. But Axel is back. Or it has you to your back. You know, back turn. So there was better words there. Whatever. Alright, so great move, Pursuit there, bringing it in, knowing that it was likely trapped or not going to do enough. You probably get the 2-hit KO while Lottie has to hope on a Draco crit in order to 2-hit KO or 1-hit maybe. So Bullet Punch doing a heck of a lot. Knockoff is going to knock it off. And Momentum Swing is in that one guy's favor. However, 8 turns of Mystic Terrain means 7 turns, or yeah, it means 7 possibilities at Halucha getting a ×2 speed boost. Now we do have a weakened Gliscor, which can make a big difference in a 100 HP Umbreon, which might make a difference depending on if it gets a boost or not. So Absol here is likely to go down for free, getting some damage off, hoping to catch Lucha on the switch in. So we do have Super Creep coming in, taking that Moonblast very well. Maybe a Wish, no foul play. Okay. So Taunt here does suck for Super Creep, and it finally gets the Wish off. So that turn right there, I think was very detrimental. Like, this turn mattered a lot because I think they read the taunt here and went just for damage because this was fresh. This was fresh. They probably gauged the damage and like, let me get the taunt off. So well played by both. I think you could see the consideration there. So Moonblast into this is going to be another crit hit. What they drop, unfortunate, but the trick here is going to trick the specs. Ooh, I don't know if that made a difference at all, but the Misty Seed gives the +1 in the Spadef. In the sub, do we see sub Encore? So that was great. Toxic, yeah, it's Misty Terrain, but you're flying, boy. But you got the sub, so that means you're lying if you think you're gonna be toxic to me. So foul play is the only thing I believe that it has to hit this unless it doesn't have protect. So the SD is free for them. The foul play should do crazy amounts of damage, but the drain punch brings it to 1 HP from 100, and the foul play does only 61 from that range. So very well done by Mask. I believe they take the game here. Do we see any protect shenanigans? No. So very well done. I think that was very well played. I did expect nothing less from both of them here. Going over that one guy's team first and foremost. Very great Absol set. Pretty standard here. Standard. Wish foul play, toxic, standard, trick, terrain extender. No, I'm playing. Terrain Extender Blacephalon would have been insane. Z move and Miracle lefties. So pretty standard stuff here. Very well played. I want to say very well piloted as well. That one turn may have made a difference because getting a wish off on, let's see, what was it? Okay, getting a wish off on the last score, I don't think it made a difference actually, because that surf is a surf. So, nonetheless, great, well done. So surf taunt, Moonblast off of Specs Finny, which was once Terrain Extender. Hidden Power, great consideration. Eye of Papa Berry, great consideration. Messy Seed, of course, off standard. Didn't get to see the king arrive, but the king died. And a Scarf Lottie along with a Mega Sizzle. So pretty standard game. Can't award any heat points here, but a heat match nonetheless. Let's move on to next. Alright, so here we have the likes of Bannanaspeaker, coach of the LA Rampardos, versus your boy Master Hand, aka Spazz, coach of the Stunner Die alumni. And that's what we came here to do, right? So this time around, right? I don't remember anything. Watch the match. Maybe I might do the same. And if you guys like the matches, of course, subscribe for more. Like them. You know, help yourself out. You know, it's getting cold outside. Get some heat. Nonetheless, very scary team by them. I did not expect to see the Tornadoes here. So from them, what am I thinking? I'm thinking I lead. I really don't remember. I don't lead Rabombi here. I think I lead. What do I lead here? Do I lead Rachi? Do I lead Persian? Do I lead Tentacle? I don't know. Let's just go off with it. I think from them though, I misread the lead. I already know that. Thinking it could be anything else but what it is. So it is Kangaskhan, and it is a Mega Kangaskhan. So I believe I'm Scarf on this. And that's why I led that, right? In the instance that they led a Scarf Zorora, I get a U-turn off, or I get a kill off. Or I get, yeah, it's just really good into everything that isn't Kangaskhan, because this thing is bulky as sin. So I bring in Cthulhu here, and I do have this fast enough to speed tie, and I get crit off hit, so I'm like, either way, I die 2-hit KO. So this thing is doing dang damage. So I go into Pixie Sticks here. What am I hoping to do? I know that I live based off of my investment. I know that it can't fake out. What do I do here? Do I get up webs? I get up reflect. Okay, that's what I do. And I can't get paralyzed because I'm, shield dust. So I'm like, haha, I got my reflect. And then in the back of my mind, I'm remembering a game to where they had brought Seismic Toss. And I'm like, worst case scenario, they bring Seismic Toss. So I get Siggy Web and they bring Seismic Toss. So that is a free 200 damage move, regardless of what you want to do. Like, as long as this is level 100, you're losing 200 hit points. You're losing 200 HP. So that move is very scary here. And this has 0 damage on it thus far. And behind Reflect, it's basically making it null and void. So at this time, I'm trying to get the most damage. And the thing that does the most damage on my team is going to be Nightmare. Regardless if this does hit me with anything, it's going to be the most damaging because I do have the Life Orb here. And I don't want to risk another speed tie. So I take the Seismic Toss. I lose that much damage. And I get a crit hit, luckily, off of the Bug Buzz here. It would have been nice if it died. So I go Lando here knowing that, you're going to Seismic Toss. Like, I live 1. And I'm going to U-turn into a low wound Persian. So I do have some dope tech on this to where all that damage I just took on Gin and Juiced. Yeah, peep this. U-turn, because I switched in on the seismic toss. I didn't like that. Not one bit. And I don't like you coming in here. So drop your speed. You know what? Drop your offensive. Z parting shot. What does this do? Oh, it gives you a full heal. And you know what? I take that CC. Drop your defenses. So I'm fully unaware of what item they are in this instance. But yeah, the Omni stat drop is crazy. Like, let's take a look at this again. All within one turn. It comes in, drop, 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 drop. Like, look at that. Isn't that beautiful to see? Like, we always see Omni boost. What about an Omni drop? That kind of goes crazy. So I do Earth Power. At this point, I don't care if it does switch out. I do bring this in, and I know that I can kind of set up on it unless it has Draco. So I was hoping it didn't. And lucky me, yeah. So I get Dark Pulse off, and I'm hoping that it's not anything like justified, because that could be scary. But within team consideration, I think they did a great job choosing the ability. So I bring in Grand Tuish here, my Jirachi, and I'm taking damage. I'm like, okay, sure. And I'm like, okay, you can get off your rapid spin here. Sure. Knockoff. Oh, I hardly know her. That's not how that joke works. But either way, I get my boost and the knockoff into the snore, because I get the boosted snore. So I'm like, okay, dope. I get to 3-hit KO this. And I wake up here. So I do have a chance to rest since I'm at 99. And I take Earthquake very, very well. I rest here again, just in case that thing wants to trick me, because I'm entirely unaware of what it is. So Heat Wave comes in here. It's doing 50 damage off of that Life Orb, which is very scary. I do have it chipped down very well. If I was to have another Calm Mind, that would be dope. So I sat the Vigavolt there, and I'm like, okay, I'm faster here. Eventually you'll die to whatever you want to do. Guaranteed damage is guaranteed damage. So I don't go for the other move that I have here, because I would hate for this to have Ice Shard, basically. So CC, and here's where I realize, oh, you're Bandit. Okay. So I get the U-turn, I get the kill on my cousin, brother, whatever it is, right? And Pompous comes out here into the Hidden Power. They expected the Lando, of course, but good mid-ground play nonetheless, in order to hit that. So this comes out, gets dropped, and Latias comes here. So Donphan comes in here to sack. They are very well aware that I am likely Scarf. So I call their read here. Or rather, I didn't care if this went down, because I'm fairly certain this is gonna have to do something crazy in order to stop my sleepy guy here, right? So they double, hoping to catch my switch. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. And I'm like, you know what, this could go down, because my Rachi can kind of set up on everything here. And I wake up the next turn. So what I do is Iron Defense for the lights of the Lucaria. So I see the T-Wave, not necessarily revealing that they aren't choice locked yet, because that could be T-Wave trick as well, right? But my instance here is Snore and Snore. Just get my damage. This thing will not flinch because it has Steadfast or Inner Focus. It has Inner Focus, clearly. So I rest up to get healthy. because I'm pretty sure that Latias can't hit me, and the only way that I can hit is if I'm having sweet dreams, right? So, Ice Beam comes in again. If it freezes me, that is actually cool. Because I don't think I mind. I just hope to get frozen at a later time. I do want to get a Calm Mind up into lesser damage and take that rest. So even at this point, I don't know it's not locked until I do see this side shock there. And unfortunately, Ban, they see the way that this is going, and they let it be known. Dang, you're just gonna Calm Mind up on me as I'm trying to get my freeze or my crits, which the freeze is cool. I don't care about the freeze. I'm healthy. Life is good. Let's take a beat. And during those turns where I'm sleep, I don't go for snore just to save my PP. That way I can boost up and have a more powerful snore. So this game is a snore, unfortunately, in these last couple of turns, and that is known by the forfeit that we have. And it is unfortunate, unsnortunate as well, that the heat caused the defeat. So, once again, I want you guys to let me know. Watch these games. Tell me, am I heat or not? Like, am I bringing the heat? Am I not? Do I need to do anything different? Like, should I keep it up? Like, hype your boy up. I need to know. Um, as far as coach of the LA Rampardos over here, Ban, great consideration on having him power there. F this thing. Oh my gosh, F this thing. Seismitas, that is nasty work. That is such an unruly move. Just to hit it twice as well. Banded Lucario, nice. Standard, pretty dope here. Life Orb Heat Wave set. And what I can only expect is, I don't know what the last move is. Maybe heal? I don't think it mattered. Either way, I don't think there's anything necessarily heat. They play very efficient. They do have very great considerations from what I've seen. And yeah, that was our game. Moving into a different set of weeks, because all the games before here are week 5. And here we have a new captain in the fray, taking the place of GDP. So they did make some changes to their team, if I do recall. So, but they go by Kev Inc. I don't have a coach name that they go by necessarily, or a logo. So maybe we'll just fill one in, for issue games. So they are going up against Ketchhhhh, coach of the Salty Artillery. So this will be our first time. Kev is the count here. So, very scary team overall. Great considerations. You got a Steel Trapper here for Lights of Scarm. We have a very scary offensive mon in the form of Hoopa being broke out and unbound into the Heat League here. Gligar, very great user of Eviolite and just overall doing things. Venusaur, Mega Venusaur, aka, in my opinion, the best switch in that you can have. Just based on, it doesn't care what you're doing. It really doesn't. Snorlax, amazing Spit F wall and one not to sleep on. No pun intended. And Kyurem Black. The boy got offense. So this might be very offensive into what we have is a pretty defensive team, I think. Excuse me. You have a very good Spit F wall in T-Tart if you do need to bring that. I don't know if you would bring it in this instance. Kyurem does have physical attacks off of its amazing base stat, but it doesn't get to use them that well in this generation. So that might be something Ketchhhhh does consider. You also have the likes of Lando. I'm sorry. You got the likes of Thunderous here, which can be very well versed in being physical attacker here. Like, I do think this is their Z Captain. I'm not sure what their Z Captain is here. Um, we have Shandy. Is this Mega Bro? I think this is Mega Bro. Passimian, I love that mon. So Defiant means they might just try to get a whole bunch of spikes. Their only form of defog is Kyurem if it has it in Gligar. Otherwise, hazards stay up pretty well. And it's annoying to all members of the team that's not Gligar. Slowbro here could be a pretty great defensive wall into some things, but not in the likes of Hoopa, I don't think in any iteration. So let's go ahead and start off. I can see a good lead here being Hoopa into basically their whole team. Hoopa looks really good into their whole team as a lead. If they lead anything else, nice. And they do deter getting up hazards long term with the Magnezone, unless they are Shed Shell. So another thing I can see is U-turn on this as a lead, maybe Scarf U-turn on this as a lead. I could see these two as a lead. Let's get right into it. So, trying to stay plus. So, I like that. Immediately try to catch the lead Scarf. Or it is Scarf and they see this as Scarf, so they just hard switch out into Gligar, which this does have knockoff. However, let's see what goes on here. And the knockoff is there, the Eviolite is not. So, nice pull. The U-turn, yes, okay. Into the Magnezone. And do we see... Very well done by both of these players here. Already two turns into it. So we know a good amount of information. Very well played. I don't think that could be played any better by good competitors. So we do know that this is the Shed Shell. If this is not analytic or sturdy. But I'm only going to assume it is because they stayed in for T-Bolt and stuff like that. So that gives Magnezone a harder time, or Kev a harder time dealing with that. And we do see the Defiant. Oh man, the fiddle is being played. We see, okay, U-turn. So no toxic or anything like that. Now, if this is Scarf, it is scary. Do I see it as Scarf? High potential. Like, this does have access to a fighting type move in the form of superpower. They could scout it. I doubt it. They could, I mean, I don't doubt it, but I mean, yeah. That's why I say Venusaur here is a great switch in. Let's see. Oh, Sandstorm information. So, Kyurem got hit first? No, Thunderous and Gineon. Geninam. I don't know. Okay, so Thunderous is faster based on the Sandstorm sequence. So, okay, that's good information. So, they may not have seen that in hindsight or anything like that. So rocks go up from Tar, and we see Drain Punch. That's a defensive Skarmory, if I've ever seen one, into the Dark Pulse. So U-turn here is very evident. You're going to take Chip on the Snoop Frog, and ooh, that's damage, oh my gosh. Beef Jones comes in on the Wisp, but that's going to be a miss. In the Pursuit, you are going to be missed, but the Flame Body leaves you something to reminisce on. Skarmory's in. We see Spikes, Hazard Stack into another defog. Alright, so Thunderous is back up and activated. Magnezone comes in. And do we see the Z move? We do see the Z move. We see the Sky Strike. Okay. So I did expect something maybe like a Titanium Z, but we do see the superpower. So we do know that this is Fly or Acrobatics. Does it have Acrobatics? Likely Fly. Okay. So Elite Seed here, getting Snoop Frog a good amount of damage, keeping that green up. Pain Split on that is very nice because that thing is fat. And we're not body shaming. Alright, Skarmory comes in. Skarmory likely doesn't care what Snorlax does. Unless it has rest. T-Tar's in for that Fusion Bolt. Doing a good amount of damage. Not sure if the next hit is a roll, but not staying in to find out. So, we have Chandelure being faster. Again, based off of the sequence of the hit. Pain Split, getting Beef Jones pretty slim. That Pursuit's not going to do much, but keep it low. Back into the yellow. And T-Tar is in. Now, they want their rocks. Facade is very nice. Facade is very nice. But Rest, oh! Rest straight to the chest, hitting that Facade off of the 140 damage. Very nice. We're asleep. We're just burning some sleep turns into the Shandy, which just eats the seeds. This is a very defensive Chandelure. I love it. So we see the Fire Spin. You're getting caught in. And T-Tar comes out. So we've seen physical and special, so it is a mixed attacker. Likely negative in the defensive nature, doing a damn good amount of damage, being able to hit KO. But they are preserving very well. That Chip Sand is doing a good amount. Like, you can't stay in on 2 more turns of it. So next turn it goes down if it stays in. And I think it's very much known. Does this have... Okay. You see the Giga Drain. Snoop Frog trying to stay croak. Or keep from croaking, rather. So this is pretty good. I like this set into this. Because you're trapping it with Fire Spin. You have Flame Body. Like, this doesn't care about your fire type attacks. But if it's lacking Earth Power, which I don't know if it gets this generation, it's kind of a sitting frog. But you do have the Leech Seed, so they both go down in HP. Nice move, good read. Brave Bird to take that down, and that's going to be almost a double down. Unfortunately, Ketch missed the nickname off of that. So that goes down because no nickname. And we get the Mega off rip to take that 32% chip. We see the Scald. Do we get a burn? No burn. Fusion Bolt. Slack off here. Calm Mind. So you die to the next one. I think that was a charity kill. Either trying to get great positioning in here or just not caring. CC is going to 2-hit KO that. I do believe that. Like, I do know it was knocked off, but that might just be bandit damage. If it's Scarf, it's a win here. And it is not Scarf. But that Sand Chip is going to get in your eye. Do we know what item this is? We don't see it yet. The Z-Power into the Chandelure is going to allow the Chandelure to just laugh at it. And what's the next one that hit? Oh! Bro was never scarfed. What the? Oh, unfortunate. So, I believe Ketch thought this was Scarf. But that Sand did give a lot of knowledge if you do know how to play around in it. So, very well done to just keep the idea of Scarf being an option. So, they do end up losing Shandy. And they lose that, but not without gaining something. So, Simeon here is going to flex in close combat the Sugar Gligar. So, pretty dope team. Dope names. Stay plus. Dreamless. All right, so well played. Tough game, said by Ketch, but I sold a lot. Yeah, I could have won, quote unquote, turn 6. Let's look at turn 6 real quick, okay? But let's just go from here. All right, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what they meant. Yeah. See, this is where I first revealed the knowledge that the this just revealed it. But you know, in the heat of the game, it's hard to tell. But yeah, this is something that matters a lot. So this could have straight died. Z punch punch. Yeah, like I think this switches around between there for the Z move, but yeah, you definitely could have won turn 6. Um, but c'est la vie, you know. Knowledge is power gained. You know what I mean? So let's go into the heat rating. So pretty dope Kirim with the flash cannon or iron head as coverage for the corkscrew crash. Pursuit facade. Now this is dope. Very much expecting to be burned. Like it is a hard wall into Chandelier, for the most part. And if it was to stay in, it does risk the burn. But having the facade there for the burn, and then pursuit trapping it after the fact, amazing consideration. I do want to give this heat for that because I do think that's what it was made for. So the Beef Jones pulling the curtains over the chandelier. I'm sorry. Very standard Snoop Frog dope. T-Bolt off the air balloon, pretty dope, but you did have the Skarmory here that had the Shed Shell. I want to assume, and the mixed Magician, Dreamless, Hooper Unbound. Nice. So pretty dope stuff here. Giving this heat rating of 1 for the considerations and stuff. Like overall, it's a good move to have facade, but just I think this was crafted well and it pulled it off. It showed it. Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, Fire Spin. Now, I feel like these two sets kind of counteract each other, right? They do a very good job of saying no you, uno reverse, uno reverse. So I also had to give this a heat rating of see Fire Spin, Pain Split, Flame Body. I'm gonna give this a heat rating of 1 as well. For the same reason, it pulled it off very well. It was made to, I think, trap this kind of. I do think you had something along the lines of fire or ghost coverage, maybe, or even who knows. But yeah, I think those sets were amazing. Like this is a whole new Seviper Zangoose rivalry. Skull Mind. I think this could have been played better. Spikes definitely got the job done to get this enabled. U-turn knock, stealth rock rest. I'd like the rest consideration there. I wish I saw more of it. It was just pretty much a sitting dino, so I can't necessarily award it too much, but like it definitely pulled off the rest where it needed to. And yeah, this was heat. Based off how this is played, like okay, it's physical first and foremost. Um, and you're using its ability well in tandem. Like I can't give it heat. I give the player great kudos here. Like this is somewhat standard if you're not gonna run it, but you know what? We're gonna give the heat, right? That's the heat set. They pulled it off very well. I'm gonna give this a heat rating of 1 as well. So, last game. We're going right into the next one. I'm not sure what week these games were just played, unfortunately. Um, but maybe I'll put it over, right. Well, let's put it. You want it right here? We'll put it right here. All right. So again, we have the count, aka Kev Inc. And they bring the team again that we saw minus 2 members. We have Azu filling in as well as Delmise. So, great rapid spinner and great offensive pressure. Like, I think the team that they ended up getting is very well thought. Like threats on threats on threats versus Manuel, coach of the Durala Dons. Manuel. All right, so I could see Infernate having HP Ice for something like this. CC's really good into it. You have the likes of Grass Knot in your set as well, and Acrobatics. Um, because knowing that this does resist, Acrobatics just hits everything neutrally if considered. Manaphy can do some work here. Like yeah, Toglow is Toglow. Like you do have things that switch into it pretty well, but Toglow is Toglow. Like this could be a hydration set. You could have. I don't know if it has stored power this time around. But Toglow is Toglow. Another mythical brought is Mega Diancie. I don't think this leads necessarily unless they read the Gligar. Mega Diancie is really good into their team, I think, pretty well. Just getting off some solid damage, neutral damage, high damage. Lando is Lando. Um, like these two are the same on for the most part. Knockoff, knockoff, U-turn, U-turn, earthquake, earthquake. Toxic, toxic, rocks, rocks. You know, they do things very similarly. Intimidate, Eviolite. Um, let's see, Gengar here. Gengar, I think, is a trick set. If I was to think anything, and Hydreigon uh, invites in Azu, but I don't remember if you have the poison move yet. I think you do. So I don't know if you have Nasty Plot yet. As far as leads, I think Infernape here. And this team is on the slower side, so likely a lot more bulk. Um, Possibly Scarf this time around, even though this is a Z user. I think their other Z user might be Delmas. Or I'm just making that up. But as far as the lead, I think they go Azu. So I like we go Gligar and Diancie. Immediate switch into Lando, but we got the Hyper Cutter and yeah. So all right, sub rocks. SD. Let's see what we see. U-turn. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it could do anything, and we have the fly. Immediately going off with the power herb. Dope, dope, dope. We love the power herb fly. It's basically a pseudo Z move set. So the combination of fly and earthquake is not resisted by any typing that I can think of. So great, great, great consideration. Earthquake's gonna knock that out. It could just get another SD, but it's not needed to knock out the lights of that. Um, so the count is counting out the team for the most part in the front of Landers here. I had Perish Azu, but thought he lived that. Fortunately, Azu is very squishy. We do see the Scarf. It seems like +2 is enough to take out the entire team. So Fly is right there. It is show the toxic. In the miss, unfortunately. Um, so here I think Manaphy does take it in case they do want to preserve. And the Fly is not enough, but the next one does take it out. But they want to preserve that. Maybe they U-turn out of here. And Draco Meteor is going to drop that. So very well played. Very well considered by the Lando. So very one-sided of a beatdown. Very quick of a game. So going over the team here, we just seen things get dropped, unfortunately. I did call the Scarf there. Very well needed versus the speed of the team there. And unfortunately, this can't break the sub. Having access to Earthquake and Toxic onto a flyer. Very heat set. The immediate power herb is pretty dope. It could have been any other item. Um, but you know, you don't want to, oh, they have protect seeds, or anything like that. Like the immediate fly is very good to like knock something out of the sky like this. Um, I'm gonna give this a heat rating of 2. Had a very dominant performance, very effective, um, even into the lead choice, right? Like this was likely to cover something else just in case, but Lando is the lead here. If they led Diancie, what do they see as a lead? Unsure, because I think you switch out of this, you could switch out of that. Let's kind of, because this has still move. Um, Azu, maybe Cure, because they don't want the immediate ice beam. So good move. The hard read or um, the hard switch, amazing. So very well done to everybody who played the games this week, for week 5. Hoping to see more games completed, and more heat, more heat, more heat. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you for coming in, Kev, in place of our homie. Hope he's doing well. Um, and you know, wishing everybody well during this time, because you know, make a wish for a leaf clover, all that joint. Um, but yeah, nonetheless, keep playing, have fun. See you in the next one. Peace.